Hello everybody, welcome back. I just want to say that I want to apologize for not posting any videos. I was just having a bunch of family problems. Wife got sick, wife's grandma died, just little problems here and there. But now we're back. Want to thank all my subscribers for continuing to subscribe to the channel and that you guys haven't left yet. So thank you guys. So let's just get started real quick. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get components, and what I mean by that is if we go over here and we let this compile real quick. So if we go to the main camera, I've covered this before, but all these right here are called components. So we got the transform component and it contains these things. We got the camera component and it contains all this. And we got an audio listener which doesn't contain anything, but as it says, it listens for audio. So what we can do is we could actually get any of these components. So let me just create an empty game object and I'm just gonna leave it like that and just zero it out real quick, and I should be able to see it right there. Anyways, now let me add the script. It's a script that I created before in the previous video. It's just a script called anything you want. Now let's say we want to get the component of the directional light. Let's say we want to get this light component. What we would have to do is we could do it two ways. We can make it public. So like I said in a previous video, if you make something public, other scripts can access it. But if you make this private, then only this script can access it. So that's what we're gonna do, since we don't really have any other scripts to access this. And then we're just gonna put directional light, and then we want this to be shown in the inspector. So as I mentioned before, if you want to show private stuff in the inspector, just make sure you put this serialized field in these brackets and you'll be able to see it in the inspector. So let me just show you real quick. So if we go over here and we go to the game object, we could see it right here even though it's marked as private. Now let's just drag this in, and if we drag it in, that's an easier way to do it. But let's say we do not have this serialized and it's just private, so we cannot see it here. How do we actually get this component? So how do we actually pretty much drag this in, through code? So the way you would do this is by getting the component. So what you would have to do is type in the name of your variable and make it equal to get component, and then specify the component that you want to get. So we want to get the light, and then just add these parentheses and the semicolon at the end. Now we're getting this component. You could also do it like this, put GameObject.getComponent, but I just find it easier just to type get component. And now we could access everything in the directional light component. So we could enable it, we could access the flare, we could get the cookie size, the color of the light, all that. So let me just show you. Let's say I do not have this and I just, change the color of it. Let's do red. Now, since I did not get the component, I would have to drag this in. So you drag this in, hit play, and everything should work because I dragged it in. So as you can see, it turned to red right here. Let me unplay it. As you can see, it changed the color. Now, let's say I have this as none and I hit play. I should get an error, a null reference error. So what null means, here you go, unassigned reference exception. And what that pretty much means is that you did not set any component to it. So like I said, if you don't want to drag this, or if you had it set to private and you cannot drag something into it, all you would have to do is have this get component. And now, even though I'm not going to drag anything in, I should not get any error. So if I hit play, I don't have no light in here. And as you're going to see over here, you're going to see that it actually gets the component for me. So the reason that it did not work is because this script, for you to get a component, you would have to actually have it on the game object that contains that component you want. So let me uncheck this, and now I have it on here. Now if I put play, it should this time get the component. So as you can see right here, it got the component and it changed the color. So just make sure it is on the component. And let's say you don't have it on this component or whatever, on this game object. What you could do to work around that is you would have to actually also make a private game object, have it serialized field, that way you could see it in the inspector, and then you could just put light game object or something like that. And now what I could do is put light game object dot get component, and now even though it's not on the game object that has the light, it should still work. So now what I would have to do though is put my directional light and my light game object. And now when I hit play, as you can see, there's no errors. If we go to our directional light, it turned to red. So this works for any component. So we could do it for, an audio source. We could do it for the audio listener. We could do it for the camera, colliders, anything you want. You could even specify the collider, so box collider, or you could just have a collider, you could pretty much get any component you want. Any component you see here in Unity. You could get the main camera, you could change the field of view, you could change the depth, the skybox, everything pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys how to be able to get components through Unity, which is something you're going to be doing a lot, especially since you don't want to make everything public, and sometimes you don't want to serialize field everything because just because it's too messy, in the Unity inspector. Sometimes if you have like 100 different variables, it will get messy and it'll just get confusing. So that's why getting components is a useful thing. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave me a comment down below. If you learned anything, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Also hit that bell button if you want to get notified as soon as I post a video. Once again, sorry for not posting videos sooner. It's just having a bunch of problems. But hopefully now I actually am able to post more and more videos. So once again, thank you guys.